Most people think a bank is just a safe place to keep money. You put your paycheck in, pay your bills, maybe save a little, and assume that's the end of the story. But the truth is, banks make money in ways most people never stop to think about. They profit from fees you barely notice, account rules you may not fully understand, and convenience that often costs more than it seems. And in 2026, with everything moving faster, more digital, and more automated, it's easier than ever to miss what's really happening. So in this video, we're breaking down the banking truths most people never hear clearly, not because they're impossible to find, but because they're usually buried in the fine print. After watching this, you'll understand how your bank really works and how to protect yourself from the hidden costs that add up over time. Let's start with one of the biggest misunderstandings in banking, the idea of a free account. A lot of banks advertise free checking, free debit cards, free transfers, and no monthly fees. That sounds great, but free rarely means free forever. Sometimes the account is only free if you keep a minimum balance of $500. Sometimes it's free only if you set up direct deposit of at least $1,000 per month, or it's free until you get charged for overdrafts or ATM use. You might see fees for paper statements, wire transfers, or even customer service that actually solves your problem. The account looks simple on the front end, but once you start using it, the real costs begin to show. That's one of the quiet truths of banking. The advertisement is designed to get your attention. The fee structure is designed to make money. And the gap between those two things is where a lot of people get caught. The strange part is that many customers never realize they're paying for banking in tiny pieces. $1 here for an ATM, a few dollars there for overdraft, $10 for this service, $30 for that charge. It doesn't feel huge in the moment. But over a year, those small charges can add up to $3, $4, even $500 without you noticing. And that's the point. The fees are small enough that they don't trigger alarm, but they're consistent enough that they add up to a lot. Here's something most people know in a vague way, but don't really think through. Banks don't just hold your money, they use it. That's the business. Your deposit is not just sitting in a digital box waiting for you. It becomes part of a much larger system. This system helps the bank operate and earn profit. It doesn't mean the bank is doing something wrong, but it's not a simple storage relationship. They earn through lending, investing, and structuring financial products in ways that benefit them first. When you deposit money, the bank can lend that money to other customers for mortgages, car loans, credit cards, and business loans. They make interest on those loans, often at much higher rates than what they pay you. For example, if your savings pays 0.01%, but they lend at 7%, they keep the difference. That's the business model. This is why banks can offer so many services for free or close to free. They are not giving those things away out of kindness. They're making enough in other places to cover it. Once you understand that, banking starts to make sense. Why push direct deposit? Why want money sitting in the account? Because every part of the system is built around movement, retention, and profit. Your account is useful to them even when you are not thinking about it. Now let's talk about savings accounts and why they're often a trap. Most think money in savings is safe, so it must also be smart. Safe, yes. Smart, not always. The problem is that many savings accounts pay very little interest. Sometimes the rate is so low that it barely matters, like 0.01% or even less. If your money earns nothing while prices rise, your purchasing power shrinks. You have the same dollars, but they buy less over time. For example, if you keep $10,000 in a savings account earning 0.01%, you'll earn $1 per year. But if inflation is 3%, you lose $300 in purchasing power. That's a loss of $300, even though your balance went up by 1. This is why people feel like they're working harder just to stay in the same place. Many banks know people won't move money because convenience wins. People like the same app and login. That comfort keeps people stuck in poor accounts. Better habit? Understand what your money is earning. If it's giving you nothing, ask if that's the best place. Consider high-yield savings accounts at 3 to 5% instead. One of the fastest ways people lose money is through overdrafts. It only takes one small timing mistake with a subscription or a paycheck. Suddenly you're dealing with a chain reaction. One fee becomes 2, then 3. Other payments fail and you owe late fees to landlords or phone companies. For example, an overdraft of $5 might cost you $35, then another fee and another. Suddenly, a $5 mistake is a $100 problem. The fee is often much bigger than the transaction. Once the spiral starts, it's hard to stop. This is why many turn overdraft off or use alerts. Banks know people pay for convenience. That's why urgent or flexible services often cost extra. The more convenient it is, the more likely it is to cost you. Transfer immediately, out-of-network ATM, wire transfer, replacement card, same-day processing, these all slip you through as extra charges over time. The real power is hidden in the fine print. No monthly fee might still require a balance. No overdraft fees might still mean declined transactions. Skimming is the risk. Banks aren't always optimized to simplify. They're optimized to manage risk and protect profit. If details matter, slow down. An ad can look great and still be expensive. Account approval history matters too. Banks review your background through things like check systems. Troubled history can block you from standard accounts. Chime or Varo reportedly don't use it in some cases. Access isn't always as open as it appears, but there are always options if you find the right type of account. Banks also understand psychology. Routine and friction keep people stuck. If moving is annoying, most won't do it, even if they're unhappy with fees. Protect yourself. Check fee schedules, interest rates, and access. A bank account should make your life easier, not quietly drain your money. Reevaluate if it does the opposite. So what don't banks want you to know? They don't want you to ignore the fees or the fine print. Once you understand the system, you get control. You can avoid unnecessary fees and protect your savings. Banks are businesses. The more clearly you understand that, the better you can keep your money where it belongs.